What's up, y'all? We're back again. This is The Hills Have Eyes, 1977, directed by Wes Craven, written by Wes Craven. Alright, let's watch the trailer and let's get into it.
They wanted to see something different, but something different saw them first. The hills have eyes.
Mister, don't take your family back in that area. The silver has been gone for 40 years now. Besides, there's nothing back in there but animals.
We're lost. The old creep told you not to get off the road.
What began as a vacation ended as a nightmare.
Be hell to pay now.
What the hell was that? Turn the lights on, please.
She thought she knew what the world was all about, but nothing prepared her for this. The hills have eyes.
Oh, you going with my baby?
Get out of the way, Dick.
A mother fighting for her child loses it in the worst possible way.
I hit him with a tire iron and I split his face wide open. That was a bad mistake. I come back for you later, girlie. Why are you doing this?
The story of an American family who lost everything except the will to survive. Murdered, raped, burned, but not beaten. The hills have eyes. The story of one family's refusal to die.
I'm gonna get those animals.
The hills have eyes. A night of terror, a day of vengeance where no one was spared. No one.
Kill the babe! Kill me!
They fought back. Anything was a weapon. The family dog to the family car.
It's working!
The Hills Have Eyes. The most shocking, terrifying film you will ever see, by Wes Craven, writer and director of The Last House on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. The lucky ones died first.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Diego. We're back again. This is a 1977 film, The Hills Have Eyes, directed by Wes Craven. This is a really classic movie. This is a, B-horror, psychological thriller, slasher, horror, whatever. It's just a really great film, especially for the 70s. I think they did this very well. Now, we're gonna get into the film here, and first let's take a look at the actors. So the cast, first we'll start off with Robert Houston. Now, Robert plays Bobby in the film. He's kind of a young kid, I'd say 16, 17, and overall, he does a really great job in this role, and it's very convincing that he's a young kid with his family. He's scared and stuff. He's worried about his dogs. We'll get more into, Bobby later. Let's get right into it. Next, we have Susan Lanier. Now, she's also really great in this film. I felt she was pretty convincing. And she has a pretty big role as the woman these psychos are after because, she's very beautiful, obviously. So, yeah, she did really well. She's Bobby's sister in the film. So, the film is, we'll get into more of that later. Next, we have Martin Spear playing Doug. Now, Doug is a very great character as well. Overall, the acting was great in this movie throughout. But yeah, Doug has a classic 70s look, mustache, sideburns, bowl cut hair, kind of. Next, we have Dee Wallace playing Lynn. Now, Lynn and Doug are married, I guess, newlyweds with a baby. And Lynn must be, sister of Bobby and Brenda, I'm guessing, as well. Okay, now, next we'll get into the man, Big Bob. This is the father who's taking his family out on a trip to California. Big Bob Carter. This is, he's a very good character as well. Just a great movie. I really like this one, if you can't tell already. Next we got Virginia Vincent. Now, she did a really great job as well. She plays, Ethel Carter, which would be, Big Bob's wife. And then we have the baby. This is Lynn and Doug's baby. And the baby's name is Katie, played by Brenda Marinoff. And then we got this creepy guy, Jupiter, played by James Whitworth. I thought these guys, that were the villains, did a really great job. And they were psycho, they were crazy, It was just a wild ride, a crazy good thriller film, I'd say. The thrill and the suspense in this one's really good. Next we have, Michael Berryman as Pluto. Pluto, this guy's scary, creepy motherfucker with a bald egghead, deformed, inbred face. And it's funny, all these villains, or this clan of cannibals, are named after planets, for the most part. All the men are anyways. Next we got Lance Gordon as Mars. Now, this guy was really creepy, really a savage motherfucker in this film. So yeah, they did a good job again. This is a crazy one, y'all, but it's still good, even though it's a 70s film, which surprised me. Next we have the Mama, they just call her Mama, I guess, played by Cordy Clark. And she's in the tribe, this cannibal tribe as well. Next we have Mercury, played by Peter Locke. So this was a really good kill. This was actually a movie where you really felt good and you really felt justified, and when the villains got killed, and he gets killed by this dog beast in the film, and it's a really great kill. This film is highly underrated in my opinion. It's just such a 70s classic and such a good thriller horror. It's amazing. So here we have the dogs. We got two dogs, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty is played by a dog named Flora, I guess, and the Beast is played by Striker. Big German shepherds, good dogs to have with you on a camping trip for sure. Now let's get into the actual movie. So I explained a bit of it as I was going through the cast, but basically this family and the newlyweds, they're heading out to California, but the big guy, Big Bob, and his wife want to go look for an old abandoned silver mine, potentially get some silver for jewelry or to make money, whatever the case is. Now, the film starts off at this old gas station in the middle of the desert, and there's this old creepy guy there. And, it's got a really good vibe to it of being, out in the middle of nowhere. But basically this guy says, don't go off the main road, what are you doing out in these parts? Because it's in the middle of the boonies, out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, and then the family get on their way, and of course, the story is it's like an abandoned military base, but it's still active somehow. So there's B-17 bombers, whatever, fighter jets flying over the family driving. They panic, they crash, snap an axle on the station wagon. Then that's where things get bad for them, really bad. I like that there's already undertones of somebody's watching them in the desert as they get into the film, just in the beginning. And then, yeah, when they crash, it's really evident, people, you see film of guys with binoculars looking at these people. So yeah, the father goes one way, and then Doug goes the other way, try to find help or somebody to call because they have no cell or radio service. And basically the story is that this guy in the beginning, Fred, this old creepy guy with a big nose, he had some kids out there, and one of the kids came out really bad, and he was deformed. He was something evil about him. And that kid, I guess, ended up growing up to be Jupiter in the film. But anyways, this kid started killing his dogs, and this kid ended up lighting his house on fire, when he was a young little kid. So Fred, what he did was he beat his ass, hit him over the head with a tire iron or something, and then just left him out in the desert, thought he would die. But this kid survived because he's a superhuman demon somehow. And then the story goes, the kid came back a few years later or whenever and kidnapped a woman Fred had out there, a whore, I guess she was. And then this is when he started inbreeding and made a little tribe of cannibals out there in the desert, which is a crazy concept, and I totally think this is believable. That's what makes this movie so good. So that's kind of the thrill, the mysteriousness, the horror behind this film. Is it's a group of cannibals, a tribe. They're all a bit fucked up. They're hairy, they're big, they might talk a little weird, they have weird teeth. They're just gross, fucked up people. And you can tell too because his children, this Jupiter guy's children, look even more gross and fucked up than him, like inbreeding for sure. Especially this guy Pluto, played by Michael Berryman. He's just so ugly, man, and so creepy. I would hate to have this guy, coming at you trying to kill you or rape you if you're a woman or whatever. It's just fucked. But yeah, well, let's get back to the film. And yeah, I thought Lance Gordon as Mars, kind of another one of these inbred cannibals, was really good in this film. He was scary, he was threatening, he was just demented, he joked a lot, he was funny. It's just a really great film. This is highly underrated in my opinion. Yeah, some funny facts about this film would be Wes Craven was inspired by, getting stuck out in Nevada in a small town on a motorcycle trip. And then I guess 3 locals threatened to shoot an arrow. I guess they did shoot an arrow past his head, insulted him. And then when Wes Craven tried to say something back, he said, this trio of people said, we could easily dump your corpse in a nearby salt mine. No one would ever know. So, just an interesting story. This is totally a real life story. That's what makes this film so good. So what else can I say about this? Yeah, there's some really good scenes in this. You know, this Fred guy is really psychologically damaged because he knows what's out there and what could come kill him. His son and these people have just been kind of playing with him, but he's got guns and stuff too, so maybe they know not to fuck around. Yeah, he's a drunk like throughout the film. He just can't deal with it, and there's a scene when Big Bob comes back to kind of get help or whatever and finds him, and this guy tries to shoot him because he thinks he's this tribe of cannibals, right? But it's just Bob, and then he goes in the room, and it's really, really a crazy scene. You gotta watch it. But no, I thought the acting was good in this. The visuals were pretty good, you know, good for 77. It's not gonna look great. But no, I really liked this one. I didn't think it was bad really in any ways other than the visuals, which, because it's a 77 film, you know, it's not gonna look the best obviously, but it had that creepy or scary 70s 80s movie feel. And I feel like this storyline fits this time period of movie better than trying to remake it nowadays. I mean, it still works now, and often newer shit is scarier if you ask me, but I don't know, I really like this original, and I have seen the remake before, but it's been a long time, so I gotta rewatch it, so might do that video on that in the future. For right now, this one was scary. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more gory and intense, to be honest, with some of the killings and the torment or whatever, but to be honest, it wasn't bad. It was still very fucking hard to watch at some points, you know. And you really feel for this family and feel for these kids. Now, what I really liked, what I really enjoyed on this film was the ending was really good, if you ask me. I don't like when horror movies always have to leave dread and despair and, you know, a pit in your stomach. This ending's a bit more uplifting and feels good to me. And like I said, there's not really a better movie that I've watched that you can really feel good when the bad guys get fucked up, because this one, it really does it justice and does this feeling of retribution well, you know. So yeah, I think this was a really good film, really underrated overall. I don't really have too much else to say about this one, just yeah, really good in my opinion. I definitely rewatch it. Scary, but yeah, I was maybe expecting these hillbillies or these inbred fuckers to be a bit more, what's the lack of a better word, but brain dead or retarded. I thought they were still quite articulate, which was interesting, but that's more of a realistic take on this, so the movie does get points for that. But I think in the newer one, they make these fucking inbred cunts to be a bit more fucked up in the head, like a bit more crazy or just stupid. But yeah, anyways, this was a good one. And another thing I just remembered was the dog. The dogs in this film were amazing. The dog just fucking owns this guy. Oh my god, it's so good. You gotta see this scene. But yeah, I really appreciate the use of dogs and the emotions around the animals, how, you know, these people, this family was really concerned about their dogs when they ran off and things like that, went and looked for them. But yeah, that's about it on this one. This one gets an 8.5 from me on a review. I'd say, you know, it's just really underrated, and I thought it was really well done. It's probably the best psychological horror film from Wes Craven he's ever done. Arguably, I think this stands out a bit more as more realistic than something like Freddy Krueger. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought on this one. This one is very good, very underrated for me. So yeah, it gets an 8.5. Alright, y'all, take care, peace.